What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the all-new 718 Porsche Cayman GT4 RS. Big shout out to HBI Auto for providing this performance car for today's video. Take a look at their website linked down below. They specialize in amazing Porsches. Now this GT4 RS is finished off in the Gentian Blue Metallic, and you're going to see a ton of carbon fiber accents all throughout with a nice bit of red. Now powering this car, of course, is the mid-mounted flat 6 engine. It is a 4-liter directly out of the GT3s. Pumps out 493 horsepower with 331 pound-feet of torque. Paired to the 7-speed PDK transmission, it is rear-wheel drive, can do 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, and tops out about 196 miles per hour. Also runs on a 16.9 gallon fuel tank, and curb weight is about 3,200 pounds. The overall length is 175.4 inches with wheelbase at 97.8. Width is 71.7 and height is 49.9 inches. Minimum ground clearance is also just 4 inches. Now moving on to the styling with the Cayman GT4 RS. Obviously this is the most track-focused car, extremely aggressive looking. I really like the LED headlights. You can see all the designs to them. Very traditional for Porsche, however you can see the 4 individual lights in them as well. And then right up in front, we have one of the vents, and then a massive intake duct right in the center to provide even more cooling and better aerodynamics. We got GT4 RS on a massive front splitter, and then on the left side, we have an LED turn signal, along with more intake ducts for more cooling to the radiator, and then you can see the vents on the far left side to direct airflow around the front end of the car. Really good looking car overall. It still looks like the Cayman, however, you can tell it has all the track-focused designs to it. And then up in front, you have the Porsche logo, which is just a sticker onto the full carbon fiber front bonnet lid. Very nice design with the functional intake ducts as well. Pretty sharp lines in it. And then we have the louver vents on the front fenders to release the pressurized air in the wheel well. We have the nice set of wheels finished in this blue color, and you can also see the massive drilled and ventilated rotor with a 6-piston brake caliper. You can see those winglets on that front diffuser, and then our fuel cap is up in front. Even on the rear part of these fenders, you can see just the design of it leading towards an aggressive side skirt, and then we have another intake duct with more carbon fiber on the side. There's body color door handles, carbon fiber mirror caps, and then black trim surrounding the windows. And I love how the rear windows have been removed. We now have a carbon fiber trim piece with an intake duct for the actual air intake system, which you saw above the engine cover. Moving to the side profile, you can see the proportions of a Cayman. However, that swan neck spoiler is massive, and all the extra aggression certainly makes this car stand out. The rear end slopes downwards into the back, and then you get this massive wing. You can see GT4 RS, that swan neck design, and then all carbon fiber just to give it that lighter weight material and a gorgeous look. It's a massive wing. You also have a built-in lip spoiler with that third brake light, your GT4 RS badge. It says Porsche in it as well. And then a nice set of LED taillights. Got all your parking sensors back here. Massive rear diffuser with your dual exhaust. And then you get a huge set of fins right in the center to help guide the air out of the back of the car. Overall, you cannot argue this is a fantastic looking performance car. Moving on to the key fob, we get that traditional Porsche style to it. Then you can see lock, unlock, and then your front and rear trunk. If we go ahead and tap the unlock button, we can easily grab the door handle and lift it up and take a look at this insane interior. So this one has the single piece carbon fiber bucket seats, and I really like the blue and black accents throughout everything. On the door panel, you're going to see the smooth black leather with blue stitching, and then a satin carbon fiber, and then a mix of Alcantara along with more leather. You can see more Alcantara for the grab handle, window controls. You have the strap for the release handle finished in blue, then a little cargo net. We have GT4 RS finished in yellow with more of that satin carbon fiber. Your 2 trunk buttons are also on the door sill. We have one power operation where you can push the seat up and down. And then I just love all the carbon to it with the smooth black leather. You got that Weissach RS logo, more carbon on the backs, and then the nice combination of the smooth leather as well as that blue Alcantara. We have the blue seat belt and then a black leather steering wheel with 3 spokes. And then now sitting in the GT4 RS, we can take the key and insert it into the left side of the ignition, turn it 1 click for the ignition to be on, and then my foot on the brake, we can fire it up. Taking a look at the gauge cluster, we got your massive tach right in the center, then a digital screen on the far right side, and then an analog speedometer to the left side. To go ahead and toggle through the screen on the right side, you have a stock down below. So if I go ahead and just scroll up and down, you can see Bluetooth information. We even get a navigation screen, a few more things that will pop up. So I like the blend. I think that's a pretty cool touch for a car like this. You can also go and do a few more settings depending on how you press all the different buttons and toggles. Got the Porsche logo right in the center, some nice aluminum accents. Stock on the right side for windshield wipers, turn signals on the left with cruise control down below. Headlight controls with more carbon, and then full Alcantara covering the dashboard. Looks really nice in this car, especially with the blue stitching. We have more carbon fiber on this far right side, which is where your cup holders are. These will pop out like any traditional Porsche. A lot of normal similarities between this and then a standard Cayman. You're gonna see that clock right on the top with the Sport Chrono, and then you can see air vents in the center with your touchscreen infotainment. Once again, pretty typical like any Porsche, all pops up. You have different items that are gonna come up here as well. Home icon, you have the car, you can see a few different things that will pop up. Down below, we have different icons for audio, climate controls, fan speed right in the center. And then for the PDK, it looks like a manual. You put your foot on the brake and you push this button, pulling it all the way back into drive. Then you can go into neutral and then reverse with a nice little backup camera. And then all the way forward, back into park. You're gonna see more carbon fiber, Alcantara, and blue stitching. Then a few buttons down below for Sport PDK, your suspension icon. You can easily toggle your exhaust valve. And then we have the lift, ESC off, and then more traction control. You just get a little bit of storage, Porsche crest right here, and then pressing that button, we can open it up for a little bit of storage. There's also a nice glove box on the far right side with a good amount of space. And then we can also see we have our fire extinguisher right there. One last look at the interior. This car looks fantastic with the bucket seats, and you can even see a lot of the carbon fiber over that engine. Got an Alcantara headliner, sunshades, and then a thin mirror to wrap it up. Moving on to both trunk spaces, the front trunk will open up and you can see we have a lot of space in here. There even is an emergency release, but this is pretty good for several backpacks or a couple duffel bags. And then right here is the other end of those functional intake ducts that are on this carbon fiber bonnet lid. So it looks really cool being fully carbon fiber, and it literally weighs nothing. We can easily close it down. Now moving to the rear, which you already saw with the engine cover, you don't actually get to see the engine in a Cayman. It is all mounted underneath in the middle of the car. But a closer look, we have the GT4 RS logo, all of this carbon fiber, and those are those functional intake ducts going to where the rear windows used to be. You can also see the backs of those carbon fiber seats. We do have a spot for coolant and oil. That's basically all you get. And then there is a decent amount of trunk space in back as well. You can see 4 different tie-down hooks throughout this rear trunk, so it makes it a pretty practical car. And then to close it, it does have some resistance for those gas struts. We can easily close it down. Alright guys, so we are setting off now in the GT4 RS. Now unfortunately, a little bit rainy out, so we're not really going to be able to push the car hard or anything. But already getting my bearings with this car, I do have some good seat time in the Cayman GTS. Very good normal daily driver with all the fun aspects. GT4 of course takes it up a notch, giving you a really good taste of the track focused aspects to a sports car. The GT4 RS is a whole new ball game. I mean, $250,000 car. This is a big deal. This is an important car and it can certainly do a lot. Cool thing about it, obviously being mid-engine versus the rear engine in the 911, technically this is almost a better handling car given you have much more centered weight distribution than a rear engine. So it's a really interesting design, taking the Cayman and cranking it up to the RS. Sitting in these bucket seats, if you are doing a lot of GT driving, these might not be the seats for you. This might not be the car for you. This car is for the person who's actually going to be going to the track, truly using this car as a track toy. They're fine. They are very padded, I will say. However, you are very straight up and down. You are sitting in these to do one job, which is to drive this car fast. So now that we're on a little bit smoother road, we have our PDK Sport, sharpens up the transmission, and then the exhaust valve will of course make this car sound even better. And then we can bump it over into manual mode. One thing I like with Porsche's PDKs, especially where they locate the shifter, it is so close to the steering wheel, where this is a car you sometimes want to shift down here. and it is almost incredibly satisfying just to click that. It's so cool and mechanical feeling, kind of like in a manual. You still have the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters as well. That was the babiest of rev. That was 4,000 RPM with like this much throttle. Those intakes behind you are already like insane sounding. I know you guys can hear that probably better than you can hear me talking. That is cool. It's just, you can hear this car breathing. Wow. That is such a unique experience that I don't think really any other cars offer that sensation. Oh my gosh, that sounds so cool. We'll get on it a little bit. It still is a little slippery out, so I am definitely going to be extremely cautious with this car. But let's hear it a little bit better. Oh my gosh. This car redlines at 9,000 RPM. We're barely going 6,000. Oh my gosh, I wish it was a hot summer day, but you can just hear so much character to this engine, and you know it just wants to rip. Wow. I don't really know the MPG in this car, but I think with me driving it'd be like 5, because all I would want to do is floor it so much. Another thing with handling, obviously the handling is going to be brilliant with this car. Those sounds are insane, like you don't, wow, those sounds are crazy. But anyway, handling, steering wheel is tiny, you're obviously in these seats really well, and it is a car that you can just pinpoint so well on every little turn. Transmission is perfectly lightning quick as well. And then as we come down to a slower speed, the brakes obviously are incredible. Shifts are so quick. Man. Man, if you want some drama, that is incredible. One thing with visibility, it's really good. The wing you definitely can see super easily back there. So that is one thing if you're going to be using this on the road. And then we'll just go ahead and do a turn, see how well this car is for normal maneuverability. Takes a little bit getting used to the shifter just going forwards and back, but you got normal backup camera and everything. Honestly, not a bad turning radius. Obviously the Cayman platform is just a really good dailyable sports car. So I feel like this car is still useful for a road car if you don't want to be tracking it all the time. And then you have some way extra drama. Man, for those of you who modify cars, you know when you add an air intake, the sound it gives you, this is that times 100. It sounds so cool. Man, this is a really cool car, even baby driving it. I will say, even the suspension, this isn't a back-braking car. You feel the bumps, like right there, obviously you feel the bumps because it's a performance car, but it's not that track-focused where you can't livably drive it. Wow. When you get a little harder on the throttle, it opens up, and that's still like half throttling it. We're not going crazy. Yeah. Wow. There's not many words. So realistically, I have not been the biggest Porsche fan throughout my life. I'm a Lamborghini fan, as you all know. When I was younger, I didn't like these because they all look like a Boxster. When you start driving the GT cars, you forget about that and you start seeing every little detail, how they are significantly different than a normal car. And you can see the Porsche lineup to where once you get into the big boy GT cars, it is a supercar all day long. Obviously, I'm a Lambo fan. I like that aspect, but these cars are at the same level all day. And even in the Cayman, which starts out not really that expensive of a car, when you take one that is 4 times the price of the baby Cayman, this thing is a serious car. unfortunately, I think that is about wrapping up my time driving in the GT4 RS on a slippery, rainy day. So of course, you know, we're not going crazy in it. But kind of my ending thoughts are significantly different car than a GT4. I recently filmed the GT4 when I was looking to buy one or buying my Lambo, of course. And this is a whole new ballgame than both of the cars, honestly. You can tell this is a track car. It is meant for the turns. Revs out incredibly high. Precision is perfect, even just there. Wow. I've never been in a car where you just do that and the car's all over the road. So obviously this car can do a million times more than what I'm doing with it in this video. Oh wow. If you are looking for a crazy track-focused car where handling is number one and the exhilarating sounds and precision, this is probably one of the absolute best track cars out there, where precision will be perfect and the drama you get, especially from that noise, is going to give you a smile, and it's still a car you can drive on the road. This isn't a normal Cayman. This is a definite difference from the standard car. That is it then. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.